Alright, hi there everyone. Hi, I'm Spyra Hollymarin, and we're basically doing a Pirate 101 full complete Let's Play. All side quests, getting all the companions promoted on the pirate we're gonna play, and all of that stuff, while also me providing some educational tips for those who haven't played before. I actually streamed the first session on Twitch, but due to the VOD not being available, I basically went, well, I only had the first hour of the game, so I'm going to start from scratch for this YouTube recording for all of you, so that way you get all of the information I shared in that first video, while also having, the ability to see this, people can look back on it, etc., etc. So yeah, let's get into it. We're basically going to be doing the first kind of little main quest, and then we'll stop the recording, but here we go.
Get down! She's going to blow! That's one of these prisoners. Check the ones down there, monkey.
I'm on it. Is this the prisoner we're looking for?
Hard to say. You there! You're standing on me blindside. Are you a boy or a girl?
Alright, I am very sorry, my NB pals, that the only options are boy and girl. You cannot change your gender or character appearance later, so you better make sure you're happy with it. We're going to be playing a female character.
What's your name, pirate?
You will be able to customize your appearance. You are basically given for your name, adjective, first name, last name. However, you can, if I can scroll through this list and show you, you can have your character just have a first name if you want, or you can have your character just have an adjective and their first name, etc., etc. However, I know what name I am giving my character. So, the personality trait I like to give myself, because I can, in fact, get quite this way sometimes when I feel things are unfair or are not going my way. I can be quite salty. Then, for my middle name, or for my actual character name, they don't have Spyra as an option, so we'll have to pick something else, and we'll, because it's an MMORPG, roleplay a little bit. So her name will be Diana. And then for the last name, I quite like the sound of Windlass, so there we go. Salty Diana Windlass.
She is the one.
Maybe so. If ye are who you say ye are, prove it. We know you're an orphan.
Okay.
How'd you lose your parents?
So, for character creation, I don't like how they do it. What they should have done is introduce class first, and then have you pick everything else. So, I'm going to give you guys a descriptor of what the classes do in the game, so you can make the smartest decisions based on what your class is. So, for the classes, you have the Buccaneer, the stereotypical tank class. They are focused on rushdown tactics with infinite range charge moves and defense buffs for their team. However, they have very low magical resistance, so if they're fighting an opponent with magic attacks, they're going to take a lot of damage. Luckily, they have a lot of health to make up for it. Then you have the Swashbuckler class. It's basically your stereotypical rogue class in your other RPGs. It's focused on hiding, poisoning the enemies, doing damage over time with bleeds, and massive burst damage with the hides. They're good at dodging attacks, but due to their low health and defenses, they actually are quite squishy if they do get hit. So that's something to watch out for. Then you have the Privateer class. The Privateer class functions as a tanky healer class, and so also has a bunch of supporting moves to make its team infinitely stronger. It focuses on buffing and healing allies, but due to that, it doesn't do much damage alone. However, they do have an infinite AoE ranged attack that they unlock. So that's something to keep in mind. Then there's the Witch Doctor class, which is the main magic using class. They're frail, but they pack a punch. They can't take a physical hit to save their life, but their magical resistance is quite high. They also have things such as summons, they do large spell power damage, they have damage over time, and buffs and debuffs. They're basically good at doing magical attacks. They have low weapon accuracy, so they rely on a lot of their powers to do actual damage. Then there's finally the Musketeer class, which is, due to this game being what I like to call Pirate Fire Emblem, They are a trap-based class, so they focus on placing hazards onto the board or hitting enemies with AoE attacks. This is the class I'm going to be playing. So, now that I've got the classes explained, we're going to go into, finally, the companion picking for Parent's Death, because that's what this option does. It impacts a companion choice you get later. My recommended picks for each class are for Shipwrecked, Privateer and Witch Doctor, Storm, Musketeer and Swashbuckler, and then Armada, Sky Squid, and Mutiny can all work with the Buccaneer class. However, I would like to note that the Mutiny companion is the weakest of the bunch. The Armada companion is okay. And then, if you are wanting to run a non-optimal companion, the Squid Attack one is honestly quite the best regardless of class you pick. But with that, since I'm planning on playing the Musketeer class, I'm picking Storm.
Non-power lost in a storm, you say?
I have seen it before. It is not a good way to go.
That is correct.
So, who raised you then? Where'd you grow up?
Alright, so the question of what place you were raised. It gives you a stat boost. However, I'm going to say this. The Skull Island, Mushu, and Marleybone stat boosts are absolute fucking garbage. They only give a base +5 to your accuracy, weapon power, and dodge stats. Why is that so bad, you ask? That actually sounds like a pretty solid boost. Well, Grizzleheim gives you a +5% boost to your maximum health. So as you get stronger, that boost gets stronger. It's the same with Krakatopia. Krakatopia boosts your spell power. And I would like to note that spell power actually impacts things like your heals on your Privateer, your poisons and bleeds on a Swashbuckler, all of your damage on a Witch Doctor, bomb damage on a Musketeer. So, essentially, what I'm saying here is if you want to run an optimized character, it's fine picking these three for role-playing purposes if that's what you want. But if you do want to run an optimized character, you want to do Krakatopia for the Privateer, Witch Doctor, Musket, and for Swashbuckler, it's good. Then, for Naturally Tough, Buccaneer and Swashbuckler can also benefit from it. Any class can technically benefit from the base health boost, but those are the two that do the best. But with that...
You learned to fight in the arenas of Krakatopia under the blazing sun?
You must be very good with a staff. Krakatopian pit fighting is deadly.
Yar yar.
So how'd you end up locked
Alright,
in this
and now, finally, after you make those decisions that could potentially screw you over later, or have you have a not as good loadout as you could have, you finally get to pick your dang class, which all of them I've gone over. I do like, however, that the class is actually a role-playing decision in how would you have gotten arrested. And we're picking Musketeer.
Trying to smuggle weapons to the Resistance, were ye?
You must be a musketeer. Musketeers are the masters of firearms, keen of eye and sure of hand.
What distinguishing marks have you got?
Alright.
Oh no, hair color and
Since
style,
I already
expression
previewed the
and
character, we're just going with what we had last time. That was the color. Think. No, that was the color. Yeah, that's the face shape I had, so. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Which face shape did I have? Oh, it was this one. This one I had. There we go. Okay.
A pirate must dress to impress. How
So-
do you present yourself?
This is your base outfit. This is what you're going to look like when you are not wearing any equipment. So just color it how you want. Because you are going to be getting better stuff later, so you don't have to feel like this is going to be your appearance throughout the entire game. think that looks pretty snazzy if I do say so myself.
You're gonna need a flag. Every self-respecting pirate needs a flag. Select an
All
icon for
right,
your flag.
so
Use the color buttons to choose its base and trim colors.
for flags, you are able to change the color of your clothes for in-game money that you don't have to buy later. So it's honestly what you are picking for your flag is literally just what your units are going to be wearing in combat, so you know whose is whose.
Now choose how the
So
field
I'm just
behind
gonna
the
pick
icon is arranged.
what I
Use
like.
the color buttons to choose the base and trim of your flag's field.
I quite like the emerald green, so there we go.
Colors you pick for your flag will also be used by your crew for their uniforms, so you can keep track of them in a fight.
Yep.
Now let's get you out of this confounded cell. There's pirating to be done.
All right, there we go. All right. So let me flip through my notesies, as I have a lot of notes. And we are not skipping the tutorial.
The door! She's jammed! The bulkhead's bent!
Well, now what are we supposed to do?
Look there! That panel's broke free! Quick, use your arrow keys and go through that hole there. Make your way back around to us.
All right, here we go. You actually do not have to use your arrow keys. WASD works just fine.
You, come here.
Run over to the cell and press the X key to talk to the prisoner.
You have to get me out of here. The lever. Use it now. The X key lets you use objects. Run to the lever and press X now.
I am Wing Chun. I must go with you. You would be lost without my guidance. Come, we go.
You've gained a companion. He will fight for you in battle.
All right, I would like to note that the companion you get here is dependent on your class. Musketeers,
Come on, pirate! Find us quick!
which is what I'm playing, get Wing Chun, a crane student. They are a privateer class. Then, Buccaneers get Kobe Yojimbo, a bull samurai, a swashbuckler class companion. Swashbucklers get Subodai, a horse barbarian. He is a buccaneer class companion. Privateers get Egg Shen, a goose student. He is a buccaneer class companion. And witch doctors get Kanpo, the goat student, who is a swashbuckler companion.
What took you so long? Let's get out of here before we get blown to bits!
Run up the stairs at the end of the hall.
What's this? Boatbeard! Trying to steal my prize, you ruffian?
Deacon!
Spy master of the Armada. I think we're in trouble.
It is our jailer. Evil machine. You will pay.
I think not. The prisoner must not be allowed to escape. Take them!
Alright, I would like...
Battle angels. They are the Armada's elite warriors.
Alright, I would like to note that in the original beginning of the game, these actually were not battle angels, they were standard Armada troops, which we don't get to see for quite a while, so it's interesting that they made this change.
Indeed. It is high time you buffoons learned just who you're trifling with.
Alright, and now you get to see why I call it Pirate Fire Emblem.
This is a battle board! Use it to order you and your crew to move and attack. The highlighted character's you.
Use your mouse to choose a target or destination to move to. The blue line shows the path you will follow.
You go first. Click on that Armada Angel to engage.
There we go.
Perfect. Click done to end your turn.
Ta-da!
Ah, well done!
Look out! Now it is her turn.
Beware those spark throwers! That's how guns work in the spiral.
And the
They
reason this game
generate
is
a
E10.
burst of electricity to stun you into submission. Be careful! If your health falls below 0, you'll be knocked out!
Note that you can recover from being knocked out by getting healed.
Your turn! Click the hurt angel to knock her out!
I will help you.
Your companion gets a turn. Click the closest angel to order Wing to attack.
That's
Ta-da!
it. Now click done.
Yep. Your companions are essentially your Fire Emblem units.
One down.
Hi! Your new friend's full of surprises.
Alright.
Time to play for keeps. Click on your attack power.
The thing that differentiates Pirate 101 from other tactical RPGs is as you go through the game, you get special attacks known as attack powers.
Now click the
There are also
unwounded
buffing
angel at
powers
your target.
and healing powers, etc., etc. The way those work is you get one of them per fight.
Now for your companion. Click the wounded angel to finish her off.
You essentially get to
Perfect.
use them
Click
once
done
per
to end
fight.
your turn.
So gear that gives powers is actually exceptionally valuable. But your powers refresh every time you enter a new fight, so if you get sucked into a next fight after you've already done one, the only thing that's going to matter is how much health you
Not
have.
so fast. Do you think you can defy the might of the Armada?
What are those?
The Armada Dragoons were also added.
Surrender! Don't make me destroy you.
No, don't bother. Lads, fire!
Impressive. It seems we've underestimated you, young pirate. You'll regret making an enemy of the Armada. Enjoy your freedom while it lasts.
That blast nearly did me in! I can barely see! Pirate! Use that rope to get to my ship! Take the helm! You'll have to get us to safe harbor!
Alright, here we go.
Now, time to learn to maneuver. Use the right and left arrow keys to steer. That's navigation in a nutshell, pirate! You're a natural! Put some wind in her sails. Up arrow increases speed. That's better. Now, set course for the docks at Skull Island before any more clockworks find us.
Oh no, another Armada ship! Battle stations! They're still with us. Do we engage, Capitan?
In broadside combat.
I would like for you to
Now,
know
you'll
that
have
you
time to learn
actually
that later,
used to be
pirates.
able
Keep
to
running.
have a broadside combat
Click the
tutorial.
windsurf button or the Z key to give her a boost. Full speed ahead!
So it used to be you actually did get a ship combat tutorial in this section, however they do not do that anymore. However,
They're
ship
giving
combat
up.
is actually quite
We've
simple.
Done it. Click the boost button or press Z again to return to normal speed.
Just like you have
That's
attack.
better. Now, set course for the docks at Skull Island before any more clockworks find us.
Just like you have attack powers in combat, your ship also has attack powers. Normally they're assigned to the numpad keys. You have 1 and 2 for attacking moves, 3 is normally for a healing move, and 4 is normally for a buffing move. Simple, easy to understand. And those are on a set timer.
We have arrived. Press X to make port.
Find Captain Avery. He's an old friend of mine, always hiring good pirates for some scheme or other. Good luck and good hunting.
Alright, here we go, out of the tutorial into the game proper. However, before you start the game proper, I have some recommendations for you in the options menu. First things first, most of this is just basic stuff, but if you're playing on multiple pirates, set tutorial tips to critical only. You have enough character slots to play one of every class plus a duplicate class. Critical only makes it so tutorials don't repeat. Turn automate companions off, because allows companions to pick their own moves during combat. If you do not give your companion an order, they will auto-do things. And for Fire Emblem fans, I bet you know why you don't like having your units on auto. We don't need to worry about restart tasks or combat unit selection. Combat unit selection once you get more combat. Once you get more companions, you can choose how they do it. You can do it completely random, you can do it where your first mate is always in combat, or you can just do it in order on list. Order on list is the best option. You can also do hide scene tips as well for the tutorial. Then for fast combat, set the fast combat on. Trust me, other players will thank you. So there we go. Got that set up. Now we're gonna go talk to Captain Avery here.
Run from the Armada, are you? Well, I run a pirate haven here, not a charity. If you want me to hide you, you'll have to work for it. One of my more willful crewmen, a buccaneer named Finn, stole a jade amulet from me. I need it back. Finn fled to Skull Mountain and roused the Troggies. Now they're bombarding us. Get my amulet back. Report to Chief Rigby at the West Bastion. If you're to be a pirate, you'll need a ship. Do this right, and I'll give you one. You have my word of honor. Do we have an accord?
And you notice how that quest was a pirate's life for you. I would like to note that there are a ton of references in this game. I might not catch them all. I'll tell you what references I do know when they show up, but I can't confirm I'll catch all of them.
Ahoy there! Keep your head down, lest you're looking to be blown up. Blasted Troggies. They've gone mad, they have. You want to help? We need to stop this bombardment. Go find Bonnie Ann. She went across the bridge to teach the Troggies a lesson. You'll do more good there.
All right.
So who are you then? Avery sent you. Good. You've come just in time. That Finn, he's a wily one. He riled up the Troggies till they're mad as badgers. The slimy devils raided us last night. Took half our powder stores. Now they're flinging it back at the town.
We're trying to fight back, but there's too many of them. Soften them up a bit and I'll help you find Finn. Report to Lieutenant Smollett after.
Alright, so we're about to go get into some more combat. So I think a good topic that I'd like to say
See the
is that
footprints? Follow them, and we will be safe.
when I played this game on stream, a lot of people, one person in chat noted that the game reminds them a lot of Banjo-Kazooie and Rareware games in terms of its art style. And I honestly didn't notice that until somebody pointed it out to me. So I think it's kind of cool. And you know, it's like, yeah, I feel like in a way it's also kind of a good way to compare them, because you have adults who still like enjoy those classic Rareware games, even though they were designed for, you know, a younger demographic, except for Conker's Bad Fur Day. But it's still, the point stands of these were designed with, you know, family enjoyment in mind, I think is the best way to put it. There we got a piece of gear. So I'll show you how that works. B is your backpack button. It takes you to your gear page. You have all of your couple gear in here. So for example, you have hats, your outfit, shoes, weaponry, facial accessories, and then other accessories, mounts, pets, and valuable sellable items. You don't need to worry about ships. You can also get items to decorate a house. And there's also stuff for your pets. You can go into the backpack, you can either double click an item to equip it or unequip it, or you can hit the hand button at the bottom. You can also hit this button to make it so you cannot have an item sold by accident. Very helpful.
Smartly done, pirate. Now we'll show these croaking fiends the error of their ways.
Well done indeed. You're good to have around in a fight. I said I'd help you find Finn, and I'm a girl on my word. Do you have room for another on your crew, Captain?
Alright. Bonnie Ann there is a universal recruit. Regardless of your class, you obtain Bonnie Ann, who is a musketeer class companion.
You're here for Finn. There'll be time for that soon enough. Skull Island's threatened, pirate, and it's up to us to save it. The Troggies are using 3 great slingshots to hurl firebombs at the West Bastion. The bombardment's wearing down the town's defenses. Our cannons could destroy them, but the farthest slingshot's out of range. Not only that, but the gunners can't see the other 2 through all this jungle. Go to the 3rd slingshot and set off the powder kegs they're flinging to destroy it. Scout out the other 2 slingshots and mark them on this map. You'll have to get pretty close to mark them. Be careful. Report back when you're finished. Good hunting.
Alright, so for companions, here we go. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Yes?
But here are companions. You can, your first mate, because with the way I have combat set up, the order of your companions always goes 1, 2, 3, and so on. If a companion gets knocked out and you can't have them healed, it moves on to the next one to take up a slot.
At your command.
You can also move your companion's order around. So now I have Bonnie Ann as my first mate. I'd also like to, since we're going to be showing her off in a bit, I'll talk about Wing first. Wing has the Riposte Epic. If a melee attacker misses, he gets a counterattack. He also has a critical hit power.
Ahoy!
And then for Bonnie Ann, if we wind up getting caught in a fight, I will show off what she can do. Off they go into space.
It is done. Now go
I think
find the
we
other 2.
I think we actually blew them up into giant red paste chunks. So rip the frogs. Okay. Luckily for these, we just have to approach them. If I remember right, initially you actually had to destroy all 3 of them, but I could be wrong because it's been quite a while since the updates to some of these quests have happened. So if there is a difference and I don't
That took forever.
remember it,
Go to Scarlet,
that's on
quickly.
me. Alright. Yeah, sure, we'll get into a fight with Bonnie Ann, show what she's all about. Alright, so here we go. We have Bonnie Ann here. Her powers are Scatter Blast, a spell power attack that is an AoE range. That is AoE, range of 3, and it reduces enemy dodge by 25 for 5 turns. She also has the Second Wind ability, which is a heal that restores up to 25% of your health, unlimited range. So we're just gonna... Woohoo! The power I have started out with, which you can press P to view these at any time. As it says here, you can drag as you get more powers, you can drag them to rearrange them. The lower the number of the slot, the more likely a power in that slot will appear earlier in combat. So, there you go. We have the 11 spell power grape shot that requires a gun, 4 range, AoE.
You did it, pirate! Now we'll answer their slingshots with cannons! Now that the Troggy artillery is out of action, we can look to getting Captain Avery his bauble back. Finn fled up the trail. I'd wager he's hiding in the Skull Cave. I sent 2 of my best scouts, Livesey and Shepard, up the trail to see. They've been gone for hours. Go see if the Troggy's got them. If Livesey and Shepard are alive, they'll know where Finn is.
GG easy, can do. But yeah, part of the reason of let's playing this game in the year of 2023 is because this game kind of holds a special place in my heart. I've been playing since near the beginning. I wasn't a beta player or anything. But but there's a lot of things I know about the game that I like sharing. And I want to share with people, and I want to get people interested in the game, which is part of the reason I always describe it as Pirate Fire Emblem. Because if you're into tactical RPGs, this might be right up your alley.
You there! Help!
The early game is really, really simple, but late game it can get really complex.
Hey, Kevin, you're here. You need to get me out of here, and right quick, before the Troggies come back. I can't get the lock open. We need the key. One of the Troggy shamans must have it. Bring me that key.
Another thing is that this is a game where a lot of different builds are in fact viable. Here. So, you know, you can play a ranged melee hybrid build on several classes and it works. You want to play a Musketeer Witch Doctor hybrid? Go right ahead. Because a lot of the stuff you can train from the other trainers includes things like stat boosts. You can just train a stat boost instead of having to get a bunch of useless powers that you don't think you're going to use for most of the game.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Which is actually quite useful. And a lot of classes greatly appreciate that. Hello, Livesy. I got you something.
Thank you, pirate. I thought I'd never get out of there.
Also, can we appreciate the fact that this cage doesn't actually have a lock?
Want Finn, do you? He's up the trail, but he's not alone. There's a whole gang of sharks up here. Cutthroats by the look of them. They set up a camp across the bridge. They're up to something. Shepard and I found him, but the sharks attacked and we got separated. I didn't see Finn, but he must be near. You attack the cutthroats to draw them away. I'll sneak into their camp and see what I can find out. When I'm done, I'll hide in the mouth of the Skull Cave. We'll meet again there.
Alright, did you notice that when we leveled up, we got companion training points? Your companions have levels, the same as you do. And the way you train them is every level you get 3 companion training points. You can also buy these. However, I recommend holding on to these as much as possible. You get more value out of them if you use them when you are a much higher level than your companions. For example, I'd have to use 2 of these to get Wing Chun to level 2, or I could wait until I'm level 5 and then Wing Chun might drop up to level 2 with 1 companion training tome, for example. That's how it works. And then, since I pulled up the character sheet, I'm going to explain stuff. You have 3 main stats that you can increase: strength, agility, and will. Strength is melee, slashy, and smashy weapons. High strength gives you more critical chance against enemies with a lower strength score than you. The agility stat gives a damage boost to gun attacks and knife attacks. High agility is the same as strength. Higher agility, you're more likely to crit if the enemy has lower agility than you. Same with will. Will boosts spooky and staffy attacks. Spooky attacks include things like heals and a lot of the Witch Doctor powers, for example. Spell power is also a separate stat from will. However, the two tie in together. So spell power and will is often taken into account, so that's why we wanted naturally spooky in the first place. Because see how it says spooky, attacks that run off of your spell power are boosted by will. Weapon power, it's based off of your weapon and then the stat bonus. You can also get items that boost your weapon power stat as well. Accuracy is how much you're going to hit. It's offset by dodge. Dodge is whether you'll get hit or not. Armor, melee attacks, magic resist is magical attack reduction. Health is your maximum health. Gold is the regular game currency. That's what you're going to be spending most of your thing on. Script has a side quest dedicated to it, so we're not going to cover that now. And crowns are the premium currency. There are ways to earn it without having to buy them. It just takes a while, and we're going to go over that in a little bit. So that's the basics for the stats right now. You can also press Q to bring up your quests at any time. Which, in all honesty, I like having the hotkey shortcuts, so you don't have to go up here and select these, or select these, or select these. Crowns, you technically have to do that. Crowns and options are the only ones where you actually have to go and
There
click.
are the cutthroats. Let's go pick a fight.
Whee! Fight me! I'm gonna go to this corner here, you go to that corner there. And yeah, that's the example of how AoEs kind of work, is that if the enemy is in the range of the AoE, they're gonna take damage. Ooh, he got a crit on me, that's bad. Never mind, we're fine. Which, Bonnie's minus 25% dodge basically means that you are guaranteed to get your shots in early, which is part of why she's so useful. Oh, dang, we got a lot of items. So we got some First Mate's Loafers, which is a wheel and health boost. Sure, I'll take that. Got the Defiant Spyglass, which is 1 health, 1 armor. We got the Valor Ring and the Sergeant's Ring. Okay, these are both, I can go into this. These are class exclusive gear. So since I'm a Musketeer class, I can use either of these. And I think I want the accuracy and health.
Well done, pirate! During your diversion, I found this note. Listen to this.
Our buyer won't be here for a while. I'll be in the temple. When the buyer arrives, bring him to me. The temple entrance is in the Skull Cave.
The Skull Cave. We must go there.
Alright, in we go! Alright, so there's a lot of things I can actually kind of introduce in here. These red things flying around? Health pickups. They'll heal you for a certain percentage of your health. So if you're low on health and you're out exploring, if you look for those, you'll be fine. This is a hidden treasure chest. You'll find them scattered in varying areas throughout the world. You get achievements for finding them. And when you open them, they give you extra gold. So definitely worth looking for them if you know where they are. But if you don't care too much, you don't have to worry.
Open the chest, quickly!
This treasure chest is special. It is guaranteed to have a specific class-oriented piece of gear for what class you're playing. For example, I got the Musketeer's coat. And when you get gear like this, you can actually click on the gear to put it on. Note that all gear drops have random colors, so if you get a piece of dropped gear that you do not like, don't worry, you can change the color of it
Here, behind the waterfall.
later.
We found it. Looks like we'll have to cut our way through.
So, on the Musketeer, I find the logic of this hilarious, because if we look at our units, gun, no knife.
At your command.
Hands and feet, no knife. Gun, no knife. How are we gonna cut our way through this? And don't you go, oh, well, you and Bonnie have like these. No, those are powder horns. They're not actually knives. So, how are we cutting our way through this? Some people joke that maybe the wooden sword you have that appears when you don't have any weapon equipped is sharp enough to cut it, but I highly doubt that.
That cave, a shortcut home.
That entrance drops you basically, let me show you real quick. You can exit out of here, go back to Skull Mountain, right near the entrance. So there you go, and once he notes that, it's available the entire time. Now we're going into the Temple of Gloom, not the Temple of Doom. So I want to note that this is one of the areas that was changed. First things first.
These tunnels are crawling with crocodigators, but we can sneak past them if we keep to the walls.
These actually used to be more troggies. They were not they did not actually exist until this part of the game was updated. So yeah, that's something new they added, and I don't know why they did. Maybe they wanted some tougher enemies in there or something, but it's not 100% known why. Another thing about this was changed is that a specific boss fight was cut. Specifically, it was a boss fight with somebody who was Finn's quote-unquote right-hand man named Marcus. And the thing is that by cutting out Marcus from this quest, another quest line that is a side quest line later makes zero logical sense due to the fact that
too deep and too fast. We'll never make it.
I could swim it, but you and the fox never will.
Sure, Wing Chun.
You there! Come here, quick!
And finally we meet the NPC reference man himself, Sergeant Shepard of Mass Effect.
Livesey sent you? Very good. When Livesey and I split up, I made me way in here. I've been trapped here for hours, watching and listening. Finn's across the way there in the throne room. The girl's right. The water's too rough to swim. You want to cross? There's a shrine at the other end of the tunnels. Press the keystones on the 3 statues there, and the water will drain. But look out. The troggies are holed up in that shrine. They'll do everything they can to stop you. But you'll need to get into the shrine first. It's locked up tight. I overheard some of these sharks talking. Seems one of them found a key.
If I remember right, the original structure was actually you would fight the sharks, learn where Marcus was hiding, fight Marcus, get the key from Marcus, and then go to the shrine. So that's one little difference that they have made to the beginning of the game. There are going to be a lot more notable ones later, but again, the removal of Marcus actually messes up the continuity of another side quest because the characters reference that act like they know who Marcus is when canonically they haven't met Marcus yet. So yeah, that's a fun little thing that I think the devs forgot about. Okay. Q. Shark Charm, Green Amulet. Sure. That's a reference to a song from the Jetsons, if I remember right.
We must activate them. Go now.
Okay. Notice how this has a very different objective from the last fights we were doing. The other fights we were doing listed defeat all enemies at the top. This, however, is basically touch the statues, you win. So, that's what we're gonna do. Do this instead. Let's see. Puzzle, puzzle, puzzle. Speaking of puzzles, actually, that leads me into, I play TTRPGs as a hobby. And I actually, for a D&D campaign I ran, I actually lifted this entire first quest line for my parties to complete as their starter quest. My party really enjoyed it, and I changed some things up. Like I made a more traditional dungeon out of this section of the game, for example, and had the party go through that. So, one of the party members, they were a turtle, and their whole thing was that they were big and they were stupid and they were dumb because they were playing the barbarian class. And they kept running ahead of the party, and they wound up running right into a pit trap because they weren't paying attention. And so that was an experience. And it's funny because the party had two rogues in it. There were two people who were able to do things like check for traps and understood the need to check for traps. And yet somehow, for some reason, they couldn't understand the idea that they needed to that you know, having people who could do that was a good thing. But I mean, he learned his lesson and then it was all good. So, and once we get all of these statues taken care of, all of the troggies that were summoned by each statue activation get KO'd. And we're getting a lot of treasure as a result, so yay! Only two?
It worked!
Okay.
Young one, we shall fight Finn at last.
Okay, I'm an Archfae wing. I'm at least a couple of 100 years older than you. But I forgive you because the character is designed to be young. But I'm still mad. I guess another thing I like about Pirate is technically, like, you're only referred to as young. So it could be that, like, you know, you're like a young adult or something, or, you know, maybe you are 10. Maybe you're like a really young adult. Maybe you're a teenager. Who knows? The only age descriptor you're ever given is young. And the models are a little bit age ambiguous depending on what outfit, face, and such you give them. You give your character. So, I think that's something that's neat. Alright, here we go, Mr. Shepherd.
You did it! The water's passable now. I should report back, but if you're going after Finn, I'll help you first. Finn and I have a score to settle.
Alright, here we go. We're going to our first boss fight! Alright, I want to note that with these sigils, since I didn't get to show it off earlier, and I didn't explain it, you can team up with players who are actively here. It's normally teams of 4. Or pretty much always teams of 4. You can have a team of 2 or 3, but 4 is the maximum number. You can actually find a team, so if say your server you're in isn't particularly crowded, you can look for a team and find somebody on one of the more crowded servers to help you. Or you can just go in, enter by yourself, and whatever players are nearby. I would like to note that most of the content in this game, besides some of the super bosses and the very, very last final boss fight, are quite easily soloable.
You made 3 mistakes, Pirate. First, you took the job. Second, you didn't bring an army. Last, don't fight me in the dark. The dark is where I shine.
Alright, meet Finn Dorsal, the shark equivalent of Vin Diesel.
Hold your ground, friends. Cutthroats are bullies and cowards. Beat their leader and the rest will turn tail. So get Finn!
So we are fighting Shark Vin Diesel. That is literally what we are doing right now. Welcome to the puns and references of this game. I hope you enjoy it. There aren't just like pop culture references either. There are a lot of historical references, like Bonnie Ann, for example, is a reference to Anne Bonny, one of the most well-known female pirates. I believe Wing Chun is a reference to a martial art form. So we kind of have Finn sitting back. I'm just gonna kind of pick off his allies. I think that's the smart move. Yeah, because now... Yeah, I can get Finn. Bonnie, I can do that. You can critical hit. Well, technically we only have to defeat Finn. Sometimes in a defeat the boss fights, it's actually just as, if not more, valid to, in fact, get rid of the minions. Okay, Wing Chun is down, but that's okay. Shepherd. Especially when you're in fights like this where you have an ally that's not particularly smart. Jeez, he's critting a lot. Are we actually gonna lose this? We might actually lose this. Shepherd! It's because we got kind of screwed with the starting enemy placements. This went so smoothly when I streamed it. I don't know why it's being like this. Yep, we lost it. Okay, if you lose a fight, you are sent to the last life fountain you were at. And you are allowed to recover your health. Your companions, if they die in a fight, they will be put on bed rest and you will not be able to use them for a certain amount of time. In this case, it looks like it's about a minute. But that's okay, because that means we can just go back, go redo the fight. It's fine. We just got bad RNG there. Also, if you faint in a boss fight, you will actually be able to return to that fight. So I'm just gonna... block there. But yeah, that was a bit unexpected. Normally, like, I could sweep through it, but let me see if I have better equipment I can maybe put on. Because the extra health, not much. Ooh! Oh, I went through a loading area. Okay. That's why. Let's see. Shoes. I don't have any good shoes. Yeah, I think we've kind of just got the best loadout we can. Okay, let's go back and see if we can try again. Alright, let's see. Hopefully we don't get RNG screwed. Oh, sure, he only has 2 allies this time.
Beat their leader and the rest will turn tail. So get Finn!
Okay, he only had... oh no, he still has 3. That's okay though. I'm gonna just kind of set up right here. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll start by getting a hit in on Finn. Yeah, please attack my tanky ally. Thank you. Okay. So now I can do this. Bonnie can do that. Wing can do this. There we go, I crit that time. Okay, he's critting. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Aye, aye,
Okay,
Captain.
we'll do.
There we go, this red is already going much better. Since Wing got his crit off, I think I'm just gonna have him attack the minions.
Aye, Captain.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Yeah, there we go. That's the play. Pew, pew, pew.
Yes?
Wait. You have cheap shot, so I'm just having to stay there. Critical hit, nice. Blocked. I think we'll be okay though. Yeah, we're good. Okay, that went better.
I want you to remember this moment, pirate. This is the moment you won your first victory, and the moment you made your worst enemy.
Ah, shut your jaws, you bully. Well done, pirate. You're a good one to have handy in a fight.
I'll report back to Lieutenant Smollett. You take the amulet to Avery. I hope we meet again.
Alright, here we go. So, grab that. And then, if you look over here, there's a little yellow exclamation point. I wonder what that could be.
That's a nice looking cane. Wonder what it's doing down here. Oi, there are initials engraved here. RH. Harker. This must be Mr. Harker's cane.
We should take it back to him. Harker's no beggar. He'll make it worth our while. You can find him at the Gypsy Wagon outside Avery's mansion.
This was a quest that was added to introduce players to side quests, and now for some fun stuff. So, notice how we have all these buttons down here. This lets you go right back to Skull Island. This lets you go to the last life fountain you visited. This lets you go to your house. So if I click the Go to Skull Island button, looky here, we're back in Avery's Court. Let's look here. Here's this dude.
What's this? My cane! Found at last! You've done me quite a favor, young pirate. You have my gratitude. I have a gift to give in return. The gift of fun. Divert yourself with games of skill and chance. Step up to my wagon of wonders and let the merriment begin.
Alright, he gives you a random class piece of gear for the starter level. For example, we got a swashbuckler one. You also get the ability to play minigames here. Minigames can offer gear, gold, all sorts of good things. We also have a merchant over here, a free trader, if you will. While free traders are not the best type of merchant to buy things from, they almost always are a good place to sell. If you have items that you don't think are particularly useful, you can sell them and make some extra money. Simple. I don't need that shark's charm. I don't need a lot of these rings. So, sell, sell, sell. And there you go. So it's always good if your bag is getting full or you have items you don't need, sell them to a free trader. And now we go back and we talk to Avery.
You've done it! The Troggy bombardment has stopped, you've recovered my amulet, and Finn is brought to justice. Well done. You didn't even try to swap my amulet for a fake. What are you, an honest pirate? Ha!
Alright, and with that little level up...
Well, a deal's a deal, and you've done your part sure as silver. A ship I promised, and a ship you'll have. You take this writ down to the docks and seek out Dockmaster Dan. He'll see to it. Farewell to ye, Captain.
Alright, I think that's a good stopping point. It's where I stopped in my stream, so next time, next little VOD upload, hopefully that I'll get that working, we're going to be going to see what this ship is all about. So, see you guys!